Hello and welcome to Under the Visor, the weekly Formula One podcast where one of us knows exactly what he's talking about.
The other one is still trying to understand how a 5-second penalty doesn't always change anything.
I'm Karl.
And I'm Tom.
And this week we're looking back at the Miami Grand Prix weekend. Practice, sprint qualifying, sprint race, main qualifying, the Grand Prix itself, penalties, post-race drama, and probably the biggest story of all.
Kimi Antonelli again.
Yep. Because he's not just winning races now, he's starting to rewrite the history book.
Is indeed. But let's start with a news roundup.
Yeah, so we missed a bit of Audi news last week. So Allan McNish has joined Audi as racing director.
He has. This was quite an interesting one. McNish has a massive Audi history, especially through endurance racing. I believe he won Le Mans with them. He is now stepping into the senior trackside role for Audi's F1 project.
So Audi are basically, I suppose, trying to steady the ship.
Yeah, exactly. They've had a slightly messy start to life as the Works Formula 1 team. So bringing someone who understands Audi's culture, racing operations, and how their ethos makes a lot of sense, really. Yeah.
And then we have to have an honourable mention. Sadly, Alex Zanardi passed away at the weekend.
Yeah, genuinely sad news. Zanardi was a former Formula 1 driver, two-time kart champion. And then after losing both his legs in the 2001 accident, he became a multiple Paralympic gold medalist. Now, I didn't know that he'd done, because we were looking this up before and you said, oh, he's done Formula 1 in 92 or 93 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? I wasn't watching Formula 1 then. But he also came back to Formula 1 in 1999 with Williams,
right.
Which is when I saw him. So, yeah, it's sad news.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those where, as you say, you might not have necessarily watched him race, but you kind of know of his story.
Yeah, absolutely. He's respected across Formula 1, IndyCar, and the wider sporting world, and he was a Paralympian as well and won medals in that.
Yeah, so he represented Italy in the 2012 and 2016 Paralympics in hand cycling.
Yes, that's it, hand cycling.
Yeah. So, very sad news, and obviously thoughts go out to friends and family.
Yes.
And then the next one, Verstappen has reacted to Lambiasi's move to McLaren.
Yeah, GP is leaving Red Bull for McLaren, and Verstappen basically said it'd be stupid to stand in his way.
It does feel like a bit of a Red Bull loss, though.
Yeah, I think so. It doesn't mean that Verstappen is suddenly leaving, but it adds to the feeling that Red Bull's old core is breaking up, and Verstappen's always going to be like, it's fine. You know, he's never going to show his feelings, but I think that is a loss to Red Bull again.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, was it 2028 he goes?
I believe so. Yeah, I'd have to check that.
Yeah, so we got a little while to wait to see what happens in Verstappen's story there.
Yes.
And then talking about future, Alonso's been talking a lot about his future in F1.
He said he's open to everything beyond this season, with Aston Martin not exactly setting the world on fire. He's clearly keeping his options open.
Yeah, I mean, and if you know, correct me if I'm wrong, I think his contract's up at the end of this season.
Yeah.
So could this be retirement talk?
He said he wants to race next year.
Yeah, I mean, we did kind of briefly touch on Alonso probably still going to be here.
Yeah.
At 2042.
Well, exactly. But also one bit of news that I've not mentioned to you as well is there's talks of a Mr. Sebastian Vettel returning to Formula 1. And
I have seen this. He's basically said he's not going to rule it out, isn't he?
Yeah, whereas before he retired, he wanted to spend time with his family, wanted to do other things. It seems like he now potentially wants to come back, and I just don't know where he'd go. I mean, Aston Martin would have anybody, but he was there at the weekend.
I didn't see whose garage he was in though. Was it Mercedes?
I don't know. I doubt it. It probably would have either been Red Bull.
But where I saw him.
But anyway, that's something to put on the back burner. So then we move into Miami and FP1.
Yeah, sprint weekend. So there is only one practice session.
Yep.
And as we mentioned last week, they'd extended it to 90 minutes.
Exactly. And this, which always makes things a bit chaotic because teams don't get much time to understand the setup. The engine computers don't have much time to dial in, upgrades, tyres and everything else. But there were a few upgrades brought this weekend as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Miami's already tricky because it's hot, slippery, grip changes. And then obviously there was the threat of the rain over the weekend as well. That throws a spanner in the works.
Exactly. McLaren looked very, sharp out of the box. Mercedes looked quick as usual. Ferrari were there. Red Bull looked to improve, but not fully dialed in. They had a few upshifts and downshifts, and they weren't quite happy with the car.
Yeah, it did seem to be an improvement with it. They did,
100%.
Yeah, but not really anything to show the pecking order just yet.
No, exactly. And then they had to jump straight into sprint qualifying.
Yeah, so that gave us our first proper clue. McLaren were rapid.
Yeah, Lando put it straight on pole for the sprint race. But right behind him, Kimi Antonelli again.
Yes, and at this point, it feels like every session he's just there.
Exactly, Norris.
Just like,
yeah, exactly. So you had Norris on pole, Antonelli second, then Oscar, Charles Leclerc, and Verstappen. And I mean, it must be a bit of a kick in the teeth for George at the moment because he went to Australia and probably thought, well, got this, lads, I'm going to smash this out of the park. I'll be world champion, by the middle end of the season. And he's just getting absolutely dominated by this snotty little kid that's come from Italy and done nothing and is now absolutely having his pants down and driving the car. And Mercedes, as George knows very well, are not afraid to use team orders. If they think Kimi's the one for the championship, they will back Kimi very early on and George will not have a shot. And I think if George doesn't win it this year and beat Kimi, does he really have a future? Can you honestly say, why would you keep him?
I've already said my prediction with George. I don't think he'll be at Mercedes next season.
I have a feeling that he potentially won't even be in Formula One next year. If he doesn't win the... Yeah, I mean, there's nowhere for him to really go when there's others who...
I think he'll go Ferrari.
You think... I cannot. I mean, Ferrari do pick up older, slow drivers. Has-beens, if you like, who have maybe had their prime and a little bit past it. Obviously, we're talking about Mike Hawthorne, who went to Ferrari when he was a bit past his prime. I know you all thought I was talking about Lewis Hamilton, didn't you? Well, you were already typing your comments. I know what you were doing. But yeah, I'm
just surprised I haven't picked you up yet.
Yeah, well, I'm too young. I don't know. I just think George is very good, but not when pressure comes and stuff like that. But anyway, we move on to the sprint race.
Yes.
Norris nails it. Perfect launch, controlled race. McLaren finished 1-2 with Oscar Piastri in second, and Leclerc was third.
Yeah. I mean, McLaren had some upgrades this race.
Yep.
And it showed that whatever they'd done is working. But Antonelli did have a messy one.
Yeah, I mean, we all thought, Mercedes are maybe not going to be the strongest this weekend because their upgrades are coming in Montreal next weekend. But, I mean, obviously, we'll get onto it, but we're all proved wrong, as usual. Because McLaren and Red Bull had all brought their, and Ferrari as well, had all brought their upgrades. Red Bull have kind of copied the Ferrari rear wing where it does sort of, 360 no scopes. But yeah, Anthony just had a poor getaway, dropped some places, and then picked up a penalty for track limits and all of that. So
yeah. So at this point, as we've just alluded to, at this point though, it does look like it's McLaren's weekend.
Yeah, and that's what made happen, what happened later, even more impressive. Because if we move now into, we segue into main qualifying, and this was on the same. No, this was. Yeah, this same day as the sprint. Yeah. So everyone thought easy out of the box. Go on, Lando. You've got pole again.
Yeah. Just do what you did earlier.
Yeah, but
Kimi basically rocked up and went, right, enough of that. I'm not having
exactly. Antonelli goes out, sticks it on pole again. And that's 3 poles in a row. He sort of went, well, I've given you, you can have the sprint, boys. Go on, I'll just, I'm a little bit busy this morning. I was playing FIFA. What do you mean they? I
was playing Mario Kart on my screen.
Do you mean they won and they got the pole? No. Hang on. Bang. Right. Thank you. Right. I'll carry on doing what I was doing.
Yeah. I mean, it's just insane for a rookie to be doing what.
Yeah, and it wasn't luck. I mean, everyone thought maybe his first win was luck, maybe his second win was luck, maybe his first pole was luck.
Yeah.
But this isn't luck anymore. He beat Verstappen, he beat Ferrari, he beat McLaren, and he beat Gorgeous George.
He beat Gorgeous George. And he did it all whilst under a lot of pressure.
There's constant pressure on him now, and the pressure will build. Although he has out of all of them, like we were just alluding to with George, he doesn't have the pressure of, if I don't win this World Championship, that could be my Formula One career over, or everyone's going to think I'm a rubbish driver or has been, or this. And he's in his rookie year, or second year, but still a rookie. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't win the World Championship, everyone will go, that was absolutely amazing for someone so young, and think of what he's going to do over the next. But also, you've got to turn that around, and you've got to go, everyone thought that about Charles Leclerc. He still hasn't won a championship, and everyone said, he's a future star, he's this, he's that. If you lose your first championship after dominating it, and I'm not saying he's dominating it at the moment, it's hard to come back. It's very hard to come back.
You'll always have that stigma.
Yes, but we'll see. We'll see as the championship goes on.
Well, race day then.
Yes.
Got brought forward.
It did by 3 hours.
3 hours
for the rain and the lightning.
Yeah. So for those that may not know, if there is lightning and thunderstorms within 7 miles of the track,
lightning 12 miles, I believe.
To 12.
So yeah.
Then they have to.
They can't run.
They can't run basically.
Do you know why that is? Can you hazard a guess?
I assume because they're just moving targets.
No, and I'll tell you why. Although that would be so. Basically, they have a medical centre at every race. If there was a big crash and they needed to fly the air ambulance, they needed to get the air ambulance out of there. They couldn't do that if there was thunder and lightning on poor weather conditions. So that is the only reason they cancel it. Is purely because they cannot get the medical helicopter out. Obviously, like they were saying during the race, wets are basically ornaments now because they never use the wet tyres. Because as soon as it gets wet enough for wet tyres, they don't run anyway. Which is a shame because you used to have some amazing wet races.
Yeah, but like you said, when I told you that they delayed the race, you said this is a really positive thing because normally they'd just kind of let it go and then
we'd sit there for 4 hours
delayed. Yeah, you'd be sat there hours waiting and then you might get 10 laps.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be the case until they brought in the rule that. So basically, they brought in a rule after, I can't remember which Grand Prix it was, but we were sat there for probably about 8 hours waiting for this Grand Prix to take place because it was wet, wasn't safe, blah, 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 blah. So then they basically made it that as soon as you turn a wheel, you have a 4-hour window to complete the race, no matter what.
Right, okay.
And the race, and then also I remember we had a really long race and they made sure that races cannot last longer than 2 hours. So, we hit 9 p.m. A wheel turns, even if it's under the safety car. That starts the 4-hour clock, and it starts the 2-hour clock. But as soon as they stop, the 2-hour clock stops.
2-hour clock stops.
The 4-hour clock continues, and they have to complete the Grand Prix in that time. But it was positive, and I cannot remember. I'm sure you'll have a stat somewhere. When the last time they moved the time of a Grand Prix. Because it's so, I mean, it used to be more difficult because of, Formula One would be on the BBC or Formula One would be on ITV, and they had their television schedules to stick to, and that's the reason they don't like moving them, because
the last time the FIA changed the race start time was 2024 Sao Paulo.
Really? Why? Does it say?
Concerning forecast.
Oh, okay.
Weather forecast.
Well, I don't remember that, but I'm sure you're right.
That was the most recent previous,
Right.
apart from obviously Miami.
Yeah. So anyway, lap 1.
Yeah, well, Antonelli on pole, Verstappen alongside him. Race starts, immediate chaos.
Yeah, Verstappen fighting early, gets loose, spins, saves it quite well, drops down the order.
Does.
Suddenly one of Antonelli's biggest threat has gone. And what a save, by the way. That's nearly on par with his Brazil save, you know, when he sort of jinked it out of the wall, and it was brilliant. He has car control.
Yeah. Well, Leclerc ends up leading because of it.
Yeah, for a while, yes. Ferrari, again, they have an amazing start because they seem to have something in their car that makes them go, you know. And then, so Ferrari looked quick early on, but then Norris starts hunting him down.
Yeah, and eventually gets through.
Yes. And at this point, it looked like McLaren might actually steal both the sprint and the Grand Prix, which we thought, okay, well, yeah, he should do that. But Mercedes played their strategy perfectly. Antonelli's tyre management was very good. The McLarens were good as well. And he slowly brought it back under control.
Yeah, but then we had a safety car.
We did. After midfield contact, Verstappen pits, but exits over the white line. And they said they were going to talk about it after the race, didn't they? But they ended up...
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just do it there and then.
But did he get this... Because he got a 5-second penalty. Was that during the race or was that after the race?
Oh, after.
I don't know what the...
They waited until after
for
the
so
race
many
and
things.
called him up to the steward's inquiry.
Yeah, it's very weird. I don't know why they were doing that this time, because everything was decided afterwards.
Going over the pit exit white line is either you did or you didn't.
It's an open and shut thing. Yeah, they have sensors.
Yeah.
It's a bit like speeding in the pit lane, or it's not like an unsafe release where you can go, well, that was close, but it was this. Yeah. Jump starts, speeding, white lines, track limits, they're all censored. It's open and shut. If you see it come up on your screen that somebody has looked at for pit lane speeding or track limits or jump start, apart from Russell in Australia, and I still think that was a jump start, it's an open and shut case. And if you don't believe me, go back and watch Russell start from Australia. The car moves before the lights go out. He stops it. That doesn't matter. In the rules, if you move an inch, it's a jump start. So he had a jump start. They didn't see it. Either the sensor didn't work or he's whatever. But lucky is the understatement.
But I don't get why they haven't dealt with that there and then.
They didn't do anything.
Doesn't need to wait.
They did weird things. They did some of them and then not the others. And then after the race, we kind of all sat there.
All just kind of... I think they were all sat there during the race, put their feet up, watching it, going, we'll deal with it all after. Let's enjoy it.
Because we sat there. We were going to record this last night because we thought, the Grand Prix has been moved to 6 o'clock, but we couldn't because we had to wait for the FIA to sort themselves out and work out who was actually going to finish where. And granted, we had it maybe 2 hours after the race. We finally got the Verstappen thing. We got the Leclerc thing, which we'll touch on later. It was just weird. I don't know why they were doing that. But gets that 5-second penalty.
Yeah, and then as you just alluded, Ferrari's drama comes a little bit later.
Yeah, much later and much more expensive. And then we sort of ran the race. It was fine. You know, there wasn't too much incidents. And then, boom, it all starts happening in the final laps.
Yeah, Antonelli versus Norris, basically.
And this is where Kimi looked like a veteran. Really did. Norris gets close, never quite close enough. He did have a little run at him, but he was never quite there or thereabouts. Anthony's tyre management, he manages the pressure and goes on to win 3 out of 3.
Yeah, Piastri also came alive quite late on.
He did. He was there or thereabouts, wasn't he, again?
Yeah.
But Yeah, so he gets Leclerc later on. Then Leclerc spins, hits the wall a bit, damages the car. Well, it doesn't look too bad at this point, and he keeps leaving the track. And after the race, he gets hit with a 20-second penalty.
Yeah, which drops him from was it 6 to 8 or 7 to 9?
I think it was 6 to 8.
Yeah,
I think.
But basically, it cost him 2 places. Yeah. Basically, and the reason for him, and it's not an excuse, obviously, because if you exceed track limits and gain an advantage, it's a rule break, no matter what the reason is. But he had picked up damage, and he was struggling to take right-hand bends.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's why he was cutting corners,
which is kind of a bit more understandable, because obviously Russell had a damaged car for most of the race as well. So did Lewis. Lewis had a damaged Ferrari. Yeah. But if you can't take a corner, he contacted Colapinto.
Yeah. And flipped him off as he went past.
Yeah, that was quite fun. But there's a very big difference, and I'm sure you're all going to pipe up in the comments and go me. But there's a difference between not being able to take a corner and not being able to take a corner as quickly as you used to be able to 2 laps ago. So if I can't turn left and I have to cut all the chicanes and stuff like that, that's driving a car in an unsafe condition. It's dangerous because you cannot avoid an accident. Whereas if I can't take that corner, if I have to take that corner at 180 miles an hour, but now I can only take it at 160, that's not dangerous. It's just I'm slower. And you might go, well, actually it is dangerous, because what's if there's a faster car approaching? I can also get out of the way. I can also go off the racing line. I can see who's coming. I can move. But I still think it's a harsh penalty. I think 20 seconds is a bit too harsh, and I also think they should have dealt with it during the race. Not that one, but the other ones during the race, I think they should have dealt with.
Yeah. That one was tricky because it was on lap 57.
Yeah, so he didn't drive it too long.
Kind of haven't got enough time.
No, I mean, what I mean, you're going to finish the race, whatever. And also, he couldn't have been warned about it because it was the last lap. He couldn't have had the black and white. Black flag with a white circle in it, which is your car's unsafe for the road, bring in. So he wasn't told by the FIA to bring it in. So because it was the last lap, you carry on until the FIA say you're not safe to drive this car. Here's the flag. Get in the pits. He didn't have that option, so I think it's a harsh penalty. I
mean, some honourable mentions to events in the Grand Prix. Verstappen went 50 laps on his tyres. He pitted lap 7. And went on to hards.
Yeah, and just carried on.
He did 50 laps on
them.
Did
very well.
And Lando was very vocal about they should have pitted first.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's what cost them the race. So strategy again. So does it look like with the upgrades, and I haven't put this on the episode notes, this is just what I'm thinking now on the fly. Question for you: the upgrades that McLaren have made in these 5 weeks, the fixes they've done for the issues that they've had in the first few races, are we now in a position, obviously we're McLaren fans, Lando fans, do we think McLaren have finally got the car into a competitive position, and was this just a strategic slip-up that's cost the race?
I think, yes, they're in a much more competitive position. I think if Captain Hindsight ran all their strategies, we'd all be in a much better position. I don't think they'd have done anything differently. Lando didn't come on the radio when they were pitting going, this is stupid. I mean, one of the drivers did. Who was it? Leclerc, I think it was. Said, why are you pitting me now? Well, you've got the steering wheel in your hand. Don't have a go at them now. Don't say, why are we doing this now? Go round another lap and ask the question. Or don't come in. You are driving the car. But I don't think that McLaren did that much wrong. I don't think it cost them, if I'm honest, I don't think it cost them the race. I think they would have been closer. But as we saw, there was a 3-second deficit to Antonelli by the end of the race. So Antonelli had the faster car and probably would have passed Norris anyway. But they are much, and they're bringing some more upgrades. But the worry is what Mercedes brings. But McLaren have got some more things coming to Miami, to Montreal as well.
We had 4 retirements.
We did.
and I'm going to try and remember them. Hajar, Lindblad, Lawson, and someone
Hulkenberg
else.
didn't start, did he? Caught fire.
Yeah. We had a couple of crashes.
We did.
We had a roll of a car.
Yeah, that was an
barrel
roll and then ended up into the thing.
Yeah, but everyone was safe. Well, no one was injured, luckily. So yeah. So final podium, Antonelli wins. Norris second, Piastri third.
Then Russell, Verstappen, despite the penalty. Hamilton, Colapinto, Leclerc after the penalty, and Sainz then Albon.
Yeah, so I think we need to dedicate a proper Kimi Antonelli section, because this weekend was a little ridiculous for him.
Yeah, it was. And Miami wasn't just another win, it was also another history-making weekend for Kimi. First of all, by winning the Miami Grand Prix. Now, I might mess this up.
Yes.
He has now taken 3 Grand Prix in a row, China, Japan, now Miami.
Mm-hmm.
That's a crazy stat. All 3 wins came from pole position. That makes Kimi the first driver in Formula One history to win his first 3 Grand Prix from pole.
Well done.
Thank you. It gets better. I'm going to carry on.
Right, okay.
He's now the youngest driver to ever lead the Formula One World Championship.
Right.
He's already the youngest Grand Prix pole sitter.
Yep.
And after Miami, he's now the youngest driver to ever take 3 consecutive pole positions and the youngest driver to ever win 3 consecutive Grand Prix.
Basically, so far, every weekend he's breaking some sort of record.
Pretty much. Do you know who the youngest driver in Formula One ever was?
Verstappen.
Do you know who the second driver was?
We had that a couple of episodes ago.
Who the second youngest is?
Schumacher.
No.
Ah, it's close.
Not really.
Give me a clue. What era?
This era. He's still driving now.
This era?
Still driving now.
Oh, Hamilton. Driving
Daddy,
now.
can I have a Formula One drive?
Oh, right, fair. Right, okay. Mr. Stroll.
Yeah, Lance Stroll. Yeah, correct. He is the second ever. And then obviously you've got Kimi. Max's record will never be broken. We've spoken about that.
Yeah, I saw a very funny TikTok which depicted F1 drivers in the playground. I don't know whether I sent it to you or not.
No, I don't think you did.
This guy did a sketch where he was depicting all the Formula One drivers, and they all had like their own kind of thing that made it obvious who they were, and then the very last one was just, my dad owns this playground.
And his pole in Miami puts him in a very exclusive group because he's only the 3rd driver in Formula One history to take his first 3 career poles in 3 consecutive races. The other 2 are Michael Schumacher and Ayrton Senna.
Already been compared to a modern day Ayrton Senna.
Yeah, he has, because he looks exactly like him.
And is basically doing everything that he did.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's elite company, though, those 2.
Yeah. He also still holds the record as the youngest sprint pole sitter in Formula One history.
Mm-hmm. And the scary thing, this wasn't even a perfect weekend for him.
No, that's what makes it so impressive. He made mistakes in the sprint, picked up a penalty, looked frustrated, and a few hours later puts it on pole, controls the Grand Prix, holds off Norris and wins again. That's a championship mentality.
So, question then, is this hype, or are we genuinely watching F1's next superstar?
I think he's going to be very good this season. I don't think it's hype. I think he's got a lot to do. I mean, he still lives with his mum and dad, still goes to school, and he's got bits happening. So I think he's very good.
Okay.
So any talking points you want to talk about?
Yeah, Ferrari. Quick. Messy again, though, weren't they?
Leclerc had podium pace, ends up in 8th. Hamilton quietly picks up positions, but Ferrari finding ways to throw points away again.
Yeah. Red Bull, better?
Better, yes. I don't think they're fully there yet. Verstappen on the front row shows improvement. I'd like to see what he did without the spin.
Yes.
Because I think that really didn't help him. It's very rare he makes a mistake.
I think we could have seen a different race.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. He did have positive feedback about the car as well. So it was saying it's a lot better than it was.
Yeah, we'll have to wait till next weekend, or in 2 weeks.
Yeah. McLaren, happy or frustrated?
Both. Sprint 1-2, got to be very pleased with that. I think overall they must be happy because they were nowhere really at all, and they've won a race now. But Mercedes were just better on the day. Yeah.
Like you say, won a race and podiums.
Whereas before we weren't starting races.
Exactly, yeah.
So, or we were piastring it into the wall. So,
yeah. Anything from the radios that stood out?
Antonelli sounded ice cool. Norris sounded like he knew that there was more in the car. Verstappen found it frustrated, I'd say. Leclerc sounded like he was trying to survive a broken car. And pretty much a perfect F1 weekend. Hadjar, which we haven't mentioned, who bunged it into the wall, bumped over the curbs and bunged it into the wall. I haven't heard anything from him yet, but obviously he was very frustrated.
I haven't seen anything.
Very frustrated in the car. He made a mistake, and we all know from Hadjar when he makes a mistake, he gets slightly upset. So we'll see. I haven't seen an interview with him yet, so we need to find that. But yeah, like we say, pretty much the perfect F1 weekend. Welcome back after 5 weeks. Here you go, Slam Bam. Thank you, man.
Yeah, and I genuinely had such a happy feeling knowing that this weekend we finally had a race.
Yeah, we can stop talking utter nonsense in other podcasts. Although we have got to do that next weekend, and I think we should do the one that you wanted to do. I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know. You might have picked it already in your notes later on because I have not read anything. But we could do the controversy thing.
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of in the back of my mind of something to do for next week. So yeah. So 3 big questions then coming out of Miami, and we've kind of covered a little bit already. Did McLaren throw away the win?
I don't think so. Maybe a bit of a missed opportunity, but I don't think so.
Okay. Antonelli's title favourite?
I'd say yes. He's got to be at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our Red Bull back?
Closer. But not quite back yet.
Okay. Well, that kind of sums up our Miami Grand Prix review. Antonelli wins again. McLaren pushed Mercedes hard. Ferrari just doomed Ferrari things. And Verstappen somehow gets a penalty and still keeps his position in 5th.
That's Formula 1.
Yeah. So we will see you next week for a quote-unquote filler episode where we'll talk about some of the biggest controversies in Formula 1. But in the meantime, make sure to like, rate, subscribe, and comment. Keep up to date with all the news and podcast episodes.
We will see you next week for controversial Formula 1.
We will. See you later.
Bye-bye.